You know, every now and then it comes to my attention that there are certain members of the royal family who don't really understand the position that they're in. It's not simply a place of privilege and of wealth and of, well, virtually no responsibility, funded on the backs of the people. This is something which is good for all the people. It is for the greater good that people serve as members of the royal family. The reason why I mention this is that Prince Henry apparently has made some comments in public, including to Newsweek magazine, in which he said that no members of the royal family really want to be king. Now, obviously, the idea of being king is something that has been tossed around for years. Millennia. It's a very common human instance of wanting to be ruled, not really feeling like I'm qualified to make decisions for my own life. It's much better to have someone put his boot on my neck and tell me what to do in exchange for the occasional lick of said boot. This is why we have royal families in places like Britain and Saudi Arabia and, any number of backward countries around the world. It is so that we can be told what to do. It is so that our hard work can go and fill their coffers. It is so that our children can go and fight their wars. The reason why we have a king is for the very same reason that we have any ruler whatsoever. It's because we do not feel qualified to make the decisions about our own lives. We're scared. We're like little children, really. We need someone to constantly watch over us, and we're willing to do whatever they tell us to do in order to make sure that we're doing things correctly. Now, hopefully you understand that what I was saying was a bit tongue-in-cheek. I personally do not feel any of that is true. We do not need rulers. I don't need someone telling me how to live my life, and I don't think you do either. If you're scared about your life, if you don't know what decision you're supposed to do, if you're afraid of making a mistake, if you're afraid that you're not going to have health care, or that you're not going to have income, or that you're not going to have a roof over your head, keep trying. People have lived for millennia around the planet without having all of the basics of life, and they actually sometimes find themselves living a better life, emotionally, spiritually even, than a lot of Westerners who have all of these comforts. It's true that Prince Harry did say that he wanted to leave the royal family at some point. I don't know if he was overwhelmed at the responsibility of being a royal, or if he just, the constant media attention, people following around since he's a little baby. Oh, Prince Henry, what do you think about this color? Maybe that was part of it. Maybe he actually at some point had an anarchist realization that other people don't need to be ruled, not by him or by anybody else. I doubt it, though, because when he ended up giving that interview to Newsweek about how nobody in the royal family really wants to be king, he said that they're doing it for the greater good. That's a very dangerous line of thinking. The greater good argument has been used as an excuse for genocide. It's been used as an excuse not just for taxation, but for brutal taxation. I mean, think about noble families, traditionally, have lived lives of luxury, while the people who are paying for it are living lives of squalid poverty. Is it fair? Is it equitable? Is it right? Is it just? No. And the only way for it to end is for the royals to realize for themselves that they not only are not necessary, but that they are a blight on humanity, and they should remove themselves from the process. Now, obviously, there have been those with an anarchist bent over the years, for instance, the Sex Pistols. Lovely little song, God Save the Queen, which obviously, people have called for violence against the nobles. I'm not calling for anything like that. I'm calling for the irrelevancy. And I think that the British royal family is probably one of the most irrelevant royal lines in all of history. However, the fact that people now have replaced that same reverence for the royalty and they've put it on elected officials, it's almost even more dangerous. Because now you can have these little mini tyrants who want to be king rising up on whatever promises they have to make to the masses to get there, and then they're given all the powers of a sovereign. Something to think about. If you'd like to engage me on the topic, send me an email, steve@radiofreespeech.com.